Do you ever ponder the existence of a higher power? It's a question that has intrigued minds throughout history. Recently, the renowned entrepreneur Elon Musk made a bold statement that has sparked widespread conversation about the future. He suggests that what many have long considered a myth, the rapture, is not only real but imminent, aligning his perspective closely with certain Christian beliefs. But what led him to this conclusion, and what implications might it have for our society? Let's delve into Musk's intriguing proclamation about the rapture. The concept of the rapture, deeply rooted in Christian beliefs, paints a vivid picture of a divine gathering between departed souls and the living. Inspired by ancient scriptures, this notion finds its origins in the Greek term harpazo, meaning to snatch away or seize, as depicted in the Bible's first epistle to the Thessalonians. It embodies the anticipation of a supernatural reunion that transcends earthly limitation. In theological circles, the idea of the rapture emerged relatively recently, sparking intense debates in the 1930s. Unlike traditional Christian doctrines, it gained prominence primarily within fundamentalist communities in the United States. The allure of the rapture lies in its mystical allure, capturing the imagination with its promise of a celestial event. Yet, beyond its cosmic appeal, the rapture holds deeper significance as a potential pathway to divine unity or a portal to the eternal bliss of heaven. It offers believers a glimpse into the prospect of transcending earthly confines and embracing the wonders of the afterlife. Musk's bold assertion about the rapture invites us to ponder our place in the universe and the mysteries that lie beyond. As we explore his perspective, we're reminded of the power of faith to inspire hope and shape our perceptions of the world. Whether one subscribes to Musk's beliefs or not, his proclamation serves as a catalyst for thought, encouraging us to contemplate the profound questions that have captivated humanity for centuries. In doing so, we may discover new insights into our existence and the possibilities that await us beyond the horizon. The idea of the rapture, a fascinating topic in theology, sparks lively debates about when it will happen and Jesus' soon return. Among these discussions, the pre-tribulation view stands out. This belief separates the rapture from Jesus' second coming, suggesting a 7-year period of trouble before Jesus returns triumphantly and starts a 1,000-year reign called the Messianic Kingdom. This theory comes from a detailed study of the Bible done by John Nelson Darby in 1833. But beliefs about the rapture vary and change. In evangelical groups, there are spirited debates between those who support the pre-tribulation idea and those who prefer the post-tribulation view. According to this view, the events in the Bible's prophecy happen in a different order. These ongoing discussions among evangelicals show how interesting this topic is. It's important to note that not all Christian groups believe in the rapture. Some read the Bible differently, seeing the gathering described in the 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 without using the word rapture. Instead, they think that believers will meet Jesus right after he returns, without going through a long time of trouble. These conversations help us understand the different beliefs within Christianity and encourage us to think more deeply about them. Elon Musk's intriguing thoughts on spirituality and Jesus. During a recent casual conversation with Babylon Bee, the enigmatic Elon Musk delved into the intriguing concept of the impending rapture. What truly caught the audience's attention, however, was his remarkable perspective on Jesus Christ and his religious beliefs. Musk, the innovative mind behind Tesla, didn't simply brush off the question of whether he sees Jesus as his spiritual guide. Instead, he engaged in a thoughtful discussion, drawing parallels between his own beliefs and the timeless wisdom imparted by Jesus. With genuine consideration, Musk emphasized the profound teachings of Jesus, advocating for concepts like forgiveness, turning the other cheek, and treating others with the same respect we desire for ourselves. He particularly resonated with Jesus' timeless advice to love thy neighbor as thyself, viewing it as a foundational principle for fostering harmony in society. What's truly intriguing is Musk's optimistic outlook on the idea of Jesus potentially saving people. His response radiates a refreshing sense of openness and curiosity as he casually remarks, "Sure, I'll be saved, why not?" Despite being baptized as a child, Musk openly acknowledges grappling with deep existential questions about the existence of God, faith, and the narratives surrounding Jesus in the Bible. While he may not identify as deeply religious, Musk's contemplative nature has led him to embrace prayer, hoping for opportunities to engage in meaningful discussions on these profound topics. For Musk, these conversations hold immense significance, not only on a personal level, but also for humanity as a whole. In a world often overshadowed by adversity, Musk sees the potential for such dialogues to serve as beacons of hope, spreading joy and fostering understanding among people from all walks of life. As he envisions a future where positive news is not just rare, but the norm, Musk's optimism shines through. He believes that embracing discussions on spirituality and morality can be seen as a collective achievement for humanity, transcending geographical boundaries and cultural differences. Diverse beliefs about the rapture. The concept of the rapture elicits varied thoughts and beliefs among Christians. Central to this discussion is the question of where those experiencing the rapture go immediately afterward. Some, known as dispensationalists, firmly believe that this event transports Christians directly to the gates of heaven, welcoming them into divine presence. Catholic scholars such as Walter Drum in 1912 support this view, seeing the event described in 1 Thessalonians 4:1-17 as a journey to heaven, envisioning a celestial reunion and connection with the divine in the beauty of the heavens. However, within the Anglican tradition, a range of perspectives exists. Notably, theologians like N.T. Wright offer a unique interpretation, suggesting that the destination of this gathering might be a specific earthly location. This idea resonates with concerns within the Christian environmentalist community, suggesting a focus on the earthly realm, possibly related to stewardship and care for the planet. When will rapture happen? There are intriguing perspectives to consider. Some suggest that hints about it could be found in Matthew 24:37-44. They point out striking similarities between these texts, proposing that the rapture might align with the parousia, or the second coming of the Lord. This viewpoint envisions a significant and synchronized event, akin to a majestic gathering where the faithful are lifted to meet their Lord. However, others argue that neither the church nor the concept of being lifted is mentioned in the Bible verse Matthew 24. They meticulously analyze the subtle differences between Matthew 24:37-44 and 1 Thessalonians 4:13-18. As a result, these passages become focal points for discussion and deep reflection on when the rapture might take place. By closely examining these texts, scholars uncover crucial distinctions, allowing for various interpretations. In 1 Thessalonians 4:15-17, the American Standard Version vividly portrays the event, describing those eagerly awaiting the Lord's arrival and those who have passed away rising to meet him. It paints a vivid picture of the Lord descending from heaven amid celestial announcements, the commanding voice of an archangel, and the resounding call of God's trumpet. Those who have passed away in Christ rise first, followed by those who are still alive. Together, they ascend into the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, where they will remain forever in his divine presence. In contrast, Matthew 24:37-44 compares the event to the days of Noah. It depicts a world engrossed in ordinary activities like eating, drinking, marrying, and going about their daily routines. Then suddenly, something unexpected occurs. Some are taken, and others are left behind. This presents a wide array of beliefs about the end times and the timing of the rapture. When exploring the timing of the rapture, there is a spectrum of beliefs within the study of end times, ranging from amillennialism to postmillennialism. Different perspectives exist, with some suggesting that it coincides with Jesus' return as described in various biblical passages. This idea proposes that after the rapture, there will be a period, symbolically referred to as the millennium, during which the world undergoes a spiritual transformation. In a particular perspective known as premillennialism, believers eagerly await the rapture before a literal 1,000-year reign of Christ on earth. This belief stands out among Christian views on the end times. Within premillennialism, there's a pre-tribulation stance that separates the rapture and Jesus' second coming into two distinct events. According to this view, the rapture precedes a period of intense tribulation lasting 7 years. This tribulation culminates in the return of Christ, followed by a 1,000-year reign referred to as the Messianic Kingdom. The roots of this theory can be traced back to interpretations of the Bible, particularly the work of John Nelson Darby in 1833. While pre-tribulationism remains the prevailing belief among rapture enthusiasts today, it encounters challenges within evangelical communities. Some proponents argue for a post-tribulation rapture, suggesting a different sequence of events leading up to Jesus' return. This diversity of perspectives enriches discussions about the end times among Christians. The development of end times beliefs. In the early days of the church, there was a widespread belief known as chiliasm. This belief, based on the teachings of Papias, proposed that many centuries would pass after the resurrection of the dead before the physical appearance of Christ's kingdom on earth. Chiliasm envisioned Christ visibly reigning on earth alongside resurrected saints for 1,000 years before the final judgment. However, as time progressed, theological differences emerged, leading to the emergence of two distinct schools of thought: the Antioch and Alexandrian schools. The Alexandrian school, influenced by Philo, interpreted the millennium symbolically, viewing it as representing Christ's rule from the heavenly realm rather than a literal earthly kingdom. The allegorical interpretation of religious texts, which sees them as symbolic rather than literal, dominated for over 1,000 years. Scholars like Origen and Augustine, who followed the Alexandrian school, heavily influenced this perspective. In contrast, the Antiochian school advocated for a more literal approach to interpreting religious texts, believing in taking the words at face value without reading too much symbolism into them, although they didn't actively challenge the symbolic interpretations proposed by the Alexandrians. In the 12th century, there was a surge of future-focused thinking inspired by Joachim of Fiore. He embarked on an intriguing exploration of the Book of Revelation, painting a vivid picture of the coming days. He foresaw a rejuvenation of the earth, the inclusion of Jewish people into a new faith, and an extraordinary era known as the millennium descending upon our world. His teachings had a profound impact, captivating hearts and minds across Europe. However, a future-focused interpretation of biblical prophecies wasn't prevalent until 1590, when a Jesuit named Francisco Ribera introduced visionary insights that challenged traditional interpretations. Before that, there was an intriguing concept called the gathering of the elect, akin to what we now call the rapture. This idea was initially proposed by Ribera, vividly describing this event occurring just 45 days before the end of a period of turmoil. In the 17th century, across the Atlantic in America, the Puritans and Cotton Mather ignited what we now recognize as the Rapture doctrine. Their captivating belief imagined faithful believers being taken from earth into the skies, followed by divine judgments on our planet, leading to a golden age called the millennium. These ideas gained traction with various thinkers like Robert Mahan, Nathaniel Holmes, John Brown, Thomas Vincent, Henry Danvers, and William Sherwin. While they didn't use the term rapture, the concept itself was becoming more defined. The 17th to 19th centuries witnessed significant development in the concept of the rapture. However, it wasn't until the early 19th century when Edward Irving emerged that the idea truly began to flourish. Born in 1792, Irving was a visionary scholar who delved deeply into prophecy. In 1825, his contributions helped establish and popularize the idea of the rapture. He stumbled upon a profound idea: a two-part return of Christ. In the first phase, he prophesied a secretive rapture event preceding the rise of the Antichrist, often associated with apocalyptic scenarios. Edward Miller, a contemporary of Irving, further refined this visionary concept. He described it as a triplet of gatherings. First, a gathering of the chosen ones, represented by the wise virgins who follow the Lamb. Second, a gathering of a plentiful harvest by God. And finally, an assembly of the wicked facing their rightful punishment. Over time, this idea of the rapture evolved and deepened through the contributions of various thinkers, from Joachim of Fiore to the Mathers, and ultimately to Edward Irving and Edward Miller. Each added their unique perspective, enriching the concept with layers of complexity and depth. The rapture, as understood today, is the culmination of centuries of theological attention, understanding, and visionary insight. It weaves together history, religion, and a hint of the supernatural to form a compelling narrative of hope and greatness, promising a future event that will uplift the faithful and pave the way for a dramatic transformation of the world. The belief in the pre-tribulation rapture. The idea of the pre-tribulation rapture is a significant belief among Christians regarding future events. It suggests that before a period of intense hardship known as the tribulation, Jesus will gather all of his followers. This tribulation is predicted to last for 7 years, after which Jesus will return. This concept gained prominence in the 19th century, largely due to the teachings of John Nelson Darby. The Plymouth Brethren in England were particularly drawn to this concept, and it gained traction in America as well. Darby's teachings, along with writings from other leaders of the Brethren movement, helped disseminate this belief. Discussions about these ideas were frequent in gatherings like Bible conferences starting in 1878. Special events such as the Niagara Bible Conference played a pivotal role in popularizing these concepts about the future. These concepts revolved around premillennialism, the belief in Jesus' return before 1,000 years of peace, and the pre-tribulation rapture, which suggests that righteous individuals will be taken up to be with Jesus before the tribulation. Many individuals, particularly those affiliated with Presbyterian, Baptist, or Congregational churches, were attracted to these ideas. The dissemination of these beliefs was further facilitated by books and Bibles such as William E. Blackstone's Jesus is Coming, which saw widespread distribution after its publication in 1878. In the early 20th century, the Scofield Reference Bible emerged, offering profound insights into the concept of the pre-tribulation rapture, which fascinated many minds. Going further back in history, traces of this notion seem to stretch back centuries, possibly even to a 7th century manuscript known as the Apocalypse of Pseudo-Ephraim the Syrian. Within this ancient text lies a captivating passage envisioning a gathering of virtuous souls chosen by God before a tumultuous period known as the tribulation. According to this narrative, these chosen individuals are to be whisked away to the presence of God, spared from witnessing the chaos and suffering that will ensue due to human misdeeds. While some learned individuals turned scholars debate the authenticity and interpretation of this segment within the ancient text, its inclusion adds an exhilarating dimension to the speculative discourse surrounding events preceding the tribulation. Moreover, echoes of similar themes resonate in writings from the 18th and 19th centuries, such as an essay penned by Morgan Edwards in 1788 in Philadelphia. These works further contribute to the rich variety of ideas surrounding the notion of a pre-tribulation rapture, infusing the discussion with historical depth and interest. In the year 1812, there lived a Catholic priest named Manuel Luna, who authored a fascinating manuscript concerning the ultimate fate of the world. Interestingly, Luna chose to cloak his identity under the pseudonym One Fat Ben Ezra for this literary endeavor. The resulting work, titled L'Anita del Mus and Gloria y Miod, delved into the potential occurrences leading up to the second coming of Jesus. Despite Luna's passing in 1827, his book retained its significance over the years. Edward Irving, a Scottish minister, took up the task of translating it into English, thereby widening its reach and impact. This translation played a pivotal role in disseminating the notion that virtuous individuals might be removed from the world before tumultuous times ensue, known as the pre-tribulation perspective. Fast forward to the 1970s, where the concepts introduced in Luna's work gained further traction, thanks to popular books like The Late Great Planet Earth by Hal Lindsey and films such as A Thief in the Night. These mediums helped to amplify and popularize the ideas proposed by Luna, captivating audiences with their depiction of impending events and stirring discussions about the end times. In 1995, a set of books titled Left Behind by Tim LaHaye and Jerry B. Jenkins gained widespread popularity, selling millions of copies worldwide. These books marked a significant moment in the history of the pre-tribulation rapture belief, which holds that believers will be taken up to heaven before a period of tribulation on earth. Scholars such as Thomas Ice suggest that similar ideas can be traced back to early Christian writings, indicating a long-standing interest in this concept. More recently, Elon Musk sparked astonishment across the globe by suggesting that the rapture might occur soon. His unexpected remarks left many people feeling bewildered and intrigued, prompting contemplation about the implications and uncertainties surrounding such an event. Musk's cryptic statements challenge us to reevaluate our beliefs and confront the unknown. In essence, it's like a complex puzzle that we are collectively striving to unravel, pondering what lies ahead and how it may shape our lives. A unique perspective on the rapture. Some people have a different idea about when they believe the rapture, a moment when faithful believers are said to be taken up to be with Jesus, might occur. They propose that this event will happen not at the beginning or the end of a challenging period known as the tribulation, but right in the middle of it. This perspective is commonly referred to as the mid-tribulation viewpoint. According to this belief, believers will initially experience difficulties during the tribulation. However, just before the situation worsens significantly during an intense period known as the Great Tribulation, characterized by God's heightened anger, believers will be taken up to be with Jesus. Supporters of the mid-tribulation perspective often cite a passage from the book of Daniel, specifically chapter 7. This chapter contains a prophecy that predicts a specific period of hardship for God's followers. It mentions a duration of time, times, and half a time, which is interpreted as 3.5 years. These believers hold that right in the middle of this period, a significant event known as the abomination of desolation will occur. During this event, they believe that the Antichrist, a figure representing ultimate evil, will commit a profoundly disrespectful act within a sacred place known as the Temple in Jerusalem. This unique perspective offers a fascinating lens through which to contemplate the timing of the rapture, particularly when examining the intricate prophecies outlined in the book of Daniel. While it may not boast widespread acceptance, the intricacies of how these prophetic events might interconnect during the tumultuous period known as eschatology, the study of end times according to religious beliefs, are undeniably captivating. Imagine delving into the concept of the pre-wrath rapture as if unraveling a mystery novel, a scenario where righteous souls are caught up to meet Jesus amidst the chaos of the tribulation just before his triumphant return. This viewpoint isn't merely a theological concept, but a narrative rich in symbolism and anticipation, drawing parallels to ancient texts and modern interpretations alike. Central to this fascinating perspective is the notion of Daniel's 70th week, which serves as a dramatic countdown to the climax of human history. Within this prophetic timeline, believers endure trials and tribulations similar to the rising action of an epic saga. The imagery evoked is vivid, a world plunged into turmoil with the forces of good and evil locked in a cosmic struggle. As the narrative unfolds, the Great Tribulation emerges as a pivotal chapter, characterized by the emergence of a sinister figure known as the Antichrist. This embodiment of malevolence looms large, casting a shadow over the fate of humanity, heightening the tension of the unfolding drama. But amidst the darkness, there is a glimmer of hope. the promise of the rapture. According to this perspective, it serves as a beacon of light amid despair, offering solace to believers enduring the trials of the end times. It's a moment of divine intervention, a turning point in the narrative that heralds the beginning of the end. And yet, the story doesn't end there. Following the Rapture, the stage is set for a cataclysmic showdown as God's justice is unleashed upon the world. The imagery is apocalyptic, seals are broken, trumpets sound, and bowls are poured out, signaling the climax of the cosmic conflict and the dawn of a new era. In essence, this perspective on the pre-wrath rapture isn't just a theological concept. It's a gripping tale of redemption, resilience, and divine intervention woven through with symbolism and suspense. It invites us to ponder the mysteries of the universe and contemplate our place within the grand scheme of existence. The meaning of life is that much greater, so I would call it, say, I have a philosophy of curiosity. The theory known as partial, conditional, or selective rapture suggests that only devout Christians will be taken up in the rapture before a time of great trouble known as the Great Tribulation. According to this idea, being close to God personally matters more than simply professing belief in Him. Supporters of this theory argue that whether or not you are taken up in the rapture depends on your faithfulness during the Great Tribulation. Those who have a strong, unwavering faith and a genuine connection with God will be taken up, while others will face the challenges of the tribulation. In this theory, those who are not taken up in the rapture will endure difficult times during the Great Tribulation, as described in the book of Revelation. Some believe that these believers who are not taken up will experience hardships between the fifth and sixth seals, mentioned in Revelation. It's a sobering idea because it implies they will face tough times and possibly even death during this period. However, others hold a different perspective. They believe that believers who are not taken up in the rapture before the Great Tribulation will still have their chance during or after it. According to Ira David, who supports this viewpoint, believers will be taken up in groups during the tribulation when they are spiritually prepared. This idea aligns with a theological perspective called post-tribulation premillennialism. The concept of the rapture is closely related to Jesus' second coming or meeting with Him in the sky just before He returns to earth, ushering in a literal 1,000-year period known as the millennium. One crucial passage supporting this idea is found in Matthew 24:29-31, which mentions the gathering of believers after the tribulation. According to this belief, when Jesus comes back, believers will be taken up to meet Him in the sky and then accompany Him on His journey back to earth. Paul's letters, such as 1 Thessalonians 4:16-17 and 1 Corinthians 15:51-52, describe a trumpet sounding after the tribulation as a sign of Christ's return. This view finds additional support in Revelation 11:15. Then the seventh angel blew his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven saying, "The kingdom of the world now belongs to our Lord and to His anointed, and He will reign forever and ever." Revelation 20:4-6 describes a time when Satan is bound and believers reign with Christ for 1,000 years. This period is marked by the first resurrection, considered a blessed event for those who participate. In this elaborate vision of the rapture and its surrounding events, there's a sense of intrigue and anticipation surrounding the ultimate triumph of good over evil in Christian belief. During this 1,000-year reign, Christ rules alongside faithful believers who have died and are resurrected to share in His authority. Millennialists interpret Christ's reign as beginning with the establishment of the church and continuing until His return. Events like Pentecost are seen as significant milestones in this ongoing reign, with Christ ruling alongside believers through sacred rituals and ceremonies. In contrast, amillennialists understand the 1,000 years in Revelation symbolically, representing the ongoing era of the church. They anticipate a transformative event akin to the rapture when Christ returns, focusing on His reign throughout the various phases of the new covenant. Unlike the belief in an imminent rapture, millennialists emphasize Christ's ongoing rule and the spiritual responsibilities of the church. They stress the importance of continuous preparation for a future where divine promises will be fulfilled. Considering Elon Musk's warning about the rapture, it prompts reflection on the diverse interpretations of biblical prophecy. Each perspective offers unique insights into the nature of faith and the anticipation of Christ's return. What are your thoughts on Elon Musk's warning?